Every story appears ordinary until you see the core side of it.
And what you're looking for is the story behind the news.
We bring it to you from Lagos, the commercial capital of Nigeria.
Giving you all sides and political stories round the clock.
Every detail from the start line to the final whistle.
CoreTV News, expanding your view.
Good afternoon. We bring you CoreTV News on the hour with Tolu Ojewumi. Determined to put an end to the incessant terror attacks on the country, the Nigerian Army has announced the commencement of massive recruitment into the service. The Director, Army Public Relations, Olajide Laleye, a Brigadier General, made the disclosure at a press briefing in Abuja. He stated that the exercise, which started with online registration for interested applicants, will last until the 21st of June 2014. Laleye advised that only those who would be willing to fight in the northeast should apply for the recruitment. President Goodluck Jonathan issued the directive for more recruitment into the army in March after the Chief of Army Staff, Kenneth Minima, had briefed him about the operations of the Nigerian Army. The Army spokesman says that some of the new recruits will be deployed primarily in the northeast to take part in the ongoing campaign against the Boko Haram insurgents in the north. According to Laleye, the Army leadership is also carrying out the annual recruitment exercise to replace some military personnel who had been killed in action. He emphasized that the Army would also commission interested candidates through the Direct Short Service Commission and the Short Service Commission. The Inspector General of Police, Mohammed Abubakar, visited the Jos bombing scenes and declared that the federal government was fully committed to ending terrorism in the country. The IGP commended the Plateau government's efforts in the fight against insurgency and promised to continue to work with the state to tackle the menace.
This is a very unfortunate incident. We as security agency will do everything humanly possible to unmark those who committed this desertly act, and no government can tolerate this kind of situation anywhere in the world. Because of the concern and passion of Mr. President, he has sent me here to come and see the level of what has happened. Convey back to the president what I have seen. Already investigation have started. All security agencies have partnered and connected and collaborated to ensure that we do what we are expected to do. I will appeal to the good people of Plateau State to continue to be patient and equally collaborate with security agencies in way of giving information and intelligence so that we can be able to unmark those who this very callous act.
The Director General of the National Emergency Management Agency, Sani City, has visited the site of the twin bomb blast in Jos that claimed the lives of over 100 people, including 2 children. City promised assistance to the victims of the blast and says the agency is collaborating with hospital management in Plateau to provide adequate medication to those hospitalized.
Highly condemnable. On our part, as an agency, we are going to work very closely with the Plateau State government and the hospital management here to ensure that we assist the victims of this bomb blast so that they can recover very quickly.
Deputy Senate President Ike Ekweremadu is demanding a united front against what he says is gradually becoming a culture of bombing. He described the twin bomb attacks in Jos as callous and unacceptable. Ekweremadu noted in a statement that Nigerians could not afford to continue to live in this manner. He argued that those behind the insurgency are the common enemy. He urged all Nigerians to close ranks with a view to stamping them out. The federal government has agreed to extend the lifespan of the national conference by 4 weeks. The chairman of the conference, Idris Kutige, A retired Chief Justice of the Federation made this disclosure at the plenary while briefing delegates on the lifespan of the talk shop. Kutigi informed delegates that the leadership of the conference met with the Secretary to the Federal Government, Ayam Pius Ayam, who conveyed government's decision to approve 4 weeks extension for the conference instead of the 6 weeks requested by delegates. Under the new arrangement, the conference will now end on July 19 instead of the earlier June 19 when the discussion had been programmed to last till. Before the extension, some delegates had advocated that the 3-month period allotted was not enough, but it is not clear whether additional budgetary allocation will be made in order to finance the extension. And the All Progressive Congress APC says it holds the solution to the many problems confronting the nation and blamed the ineffectiveness of the People's Democratic Party PDP for the many challenges facing the country. This is the high point of the official flag presentation to the party's candidate, Kayode Fayemi, in the forthcoming Ekiti governorship election. Ekiti State correspondent Rashid has details in this report presented from our studio.
In a bid to defend its decision for holding a public rally less than 24 hours after the twin blast in Jos that killed over 100 people, National Publicity Secretary of the All Progressive Congress says why the party did not cancel the rally.
If it were possible, we would not be here today celebrating. However, we are constrained to be here because we can't change the INEC timetable. However, out of deep respect and to reflect the mood of the nation today, we are going to cut out a lot of the fanfare.
The party's governors blamed the federal government for its inability to stem the rising insecurity in the country.
This is indeed not the nation that we have all dreamt of. But suffice it to say that we cannot just fold our hands on daily mourning and crying. Something must be done to bring about this change in the way things are done in the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Can we continue to have such people in government? For 50 years, our nation has been discovered and misused. Starting from Ekiti, going to Osun, Nigeria was said no to people.
The interim national chairman of the party, Bisi Akonde, presented the flag to Governor Fayemi, who says that APC has the capacity to take Ekiti State in Nigeria to a greater height.
We believe in a society built on constituents' mutual obligations to each other, in which we are all partners in progress. A society in which the state is committed to empowering all citizens, not just a few, to live to the fullest of their potential. We believe that our call to leadership is a covenant between us and our forebears, whose sacrifices ensure the creation of Ekiti State, and also between us and future generations for whom we hold the state in trust.
National leader of the party, Bola Tinubu, warned against the militarization of Ekiti during the election. He advised voters not to be afraid.
Who pay the salaries of army? We the people, we are their employers. They are supposed to protect us, right? Don't be afraid. Go there. Demand your rights. You will not have this again until another 4 years.
We are here to ensure that the people of Ekiti will have a government that our children will be able to benefit from and be proud of.
The Ekiti State governorship election holds on June 21st. This rally seeks to show how much support Governor Fayemi enjoys from the leadership of his party.
In a related development, the leadership of the People's Democratic Party PDP has accused the opposition party, All Progressive Congress APC, of celebrating terrorism in the country. It says the APC ought to have cancelled the governorship rally it held in Ekiti because of the Jos bombings where more than 100 people died. The National Publicity Secretary of the party, Olisa Metu, who briefed journalists after the weekly meeting of the members of the party's National Working Committee, says the APC remains the beneficiary of series of bombings in the country. When reminded that the PDP and President Goodluck Jonathan were in Kano a day after the first bombing at Nyanya, Abuja, where over 75 people died, Metu says that was in the past. The APC, according to Metro, has shown that it is a party of hypocritical lots who thrive only when there is violence. He asked Nigerians to make their deductions by asking which political party is benefiting from the spate of bombings in the country. The military takes over in Thailand after coup. Details after this break. Please don't go away.
From time immemorial, women have birthed life, shaped character, and by extension, influenced the society. Moremi of Ife, Emoten of Benin, Queen Aminat of Zaria, all women of influence and power.
Whether it's before election, after election.
How ironical. Women being so powerful, yet have few grounds in decision making.
They see you as weak, and I see you as a wife to a man.
We are talking women in politics.
A woman will be bold enough to stand up and say, I want to become president of Nigeria.
Only on CoreTV News.
Thanks for staying with us. You're still watching CoreTV News on the hour. For more information on our news and other programs, visit us on our Facebook page, facebook.com/CoreTV News. You can also follow us on Twitter. Our handle is @CoreTV News NG. Also on YouTube, www.youtube.com/CoreTV. Leave a space, news. Over to Thailand. Thailand's army chief seized power in a military coup, deposing the elected government and plunging the country into uncertainty after months of deadly political strife. General Prayut Chan-o-cha made the announcement in a televised address to the nation, saying the armed forces had to act to restore stability in the deadly divide and deeply divided Southeast Asian nation. He said power would be held by the committee, which he will lead. Moments before the stunning announcement, witnesses say they saw leaders of Thailand's two main political parties as well as its rival protest movements being taken by the military from a venue where Prayut had convened talks aimed at resolving their differences. But it was unclear if they had been formally detained. Prayut says he seized power due to the violence in Bangkok and many parts of the country that resulted in loss of innocent lives and property and was likely to escalate. The announcement came shortly after the opposing camps and other top political actors had gathered for this.
At all. You are the people who see the scene, but I'm in the hall.
In Bangkok. Europe's mammoth parliamentary elections kicked off on Thursday, with Britain and the Netherlands going to the polls in a vote that is expected to see a swing towards populist right-wing parties. The elections, which are spread over 4 days in the European Union's 28 member states, are expected to see major gains for parties being bent on dismantling the EU from the inside. The vote comes as the EU struggles for relevance in the aftermath of the Euro financial crisis and as it grapes with the chaos on its borders in Ukraine. Polls opened at 5:30 GMT in the Netherlands and 600 GMT in Britain. When the results are announced from 2100 GMT on Sunday, Eurosceptic parties may top the polls in Britain, France, Italy and the Netherlands. The anti-immigration and anti-EU UK Independence Party of Nigel Farage and Gatewelders, Anti-Islam Party of Freedom, are both forecast to make big gains. Led by Marine Le Pen saying the National Front is anti-Semitic, the European Parliament has largely been dismissed as toothless in the past, but these elections are different because the winning bloc will for the first time be able to nominate a replacement for outgoing European Commission President Jose Manuel Barroso. But with 26 million people out of work across the EU, including more than half of those aged under 25 in countries such as Greece and Spain, Eurosceptic and far-right parties have picked up massive support on anti-immigration and anti-EU platforms. The latest polls show Eurosceptic and others could secure almost 100 seats in the new parliament, trebling their number in the 751-seat assembly. A big thank you to you for watching CoreTV News on the Hour. I am Tolu Ojewumi. I say good afternoon to you and join us again on Top of the Hour.